Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. So this is kind of the interesting developments that I've been watching for today and setting up. And this is well, we didn't really get a close below it, but this is the first time since Brexit that we've actually closed right at the 21 period moving average on the daily chart. You can see here we got there and we bounced. And we have a squeeze. And so the question is do we have the ability now to essentially get a little bit more selling. Not even necessarily very much. For today, I'll switch these over to the S&Ps and just kind of show you the little trade we did on these today. And in addition to like the daily squeeze, you can see that on the hourly or the 4-hour chart, there's a squeeze also setting up here. And we did get a nice little break here. We came back a little bit. And we've also broken a pretty decent trend line. So now maybe this market, maybe the selling is only going to last 4 minutes. But we did break through this, and there's a potential that we can get a little bit more. So what are some different ways to play this? Well, one thing we did today in the room is we went short the S&P futures, and we also bought puts on the spiders, and we also bought calls on the VIX. So S&P futures, that was a nice 10-handle move down to the downside. I didn't hold any of the futures overnight, but we did hold the puts overnight to see if we can actually continue to get a little bit more selling. Because remember, we've got a daily squeeze in the VIX, right? A couple of other things that I'll go into more detail with the premium video. Very nice. I've got my dogs here at the office today, and they're attacking a visitor, so that's good. So what we want to look at here then is what's the potential here. And the trade setup on this was fairly clean, where we had a squeeze set up here, and this was earlier this morning, and I missed this, so it came down. But then we got the retracement back to the mean on the 15-minute chart, and then you can see that once we went back into sells across all the multiple time frames, so if this is the 15-minute chart, times 2, 3, 4, 5 in the MTF indicator. So you've got, you're looking at the times 2 is the 30, the 45, et cetera, et cetera. So when all those go red here, boom, you're getting short, and then just essentially at this point, we had the internals and the ticks that could guide us into the close. And so that was nice. So at this point, we did keep the put options on the spiders. We texted those out earlier today, so we can look at those real quick. So this was the spiders here. And notice here getting them 23 days out in case this starts to turn into something a little bit bigger, but also getting call options on the VXX, and then picking up some VIX futures as well. So the idea here is that, yes, obviously we're in a bull trend, but we have a lot of red flags here, and if we can close below the daily 21 period moving average tomorrow, that does open up the door for a more significant decline. All right, so we'll see how that goes. And then one last thing here. So I thought this was kind of interesting. So this is a new tool we've been using here. Here we go. Get this here. Chicken Analytics software. We've been talking a little bit about this, and so I thought this was a really cool feature here. And you can see on McDonald's. Okay, so here we are in May. And in May, everything looked good. We're at new highs. We get a little bit of a, and then essentially it's game over. Well, look what happened here. As the stock was making new highs, money flow went negative. Okay. The power gauge was neutral and then quickly went into a sell. So while this was happening, we actually also had a daily squeeze. So now here we are in May. And when we look at the squeeze here, now you can see that this actually worked pretty good. I mean, we went from like 126 to about 130. So that wasn't bad, but then you can see it quickly fell apart. And so what I found now is that you combined a squeeze with that group of indicators, you're actually going to, it's actually finding more powerful setups. So anyway, I just think it's been a fairly amazing piece of software. So if you're interested in this software, I love tools like this that combine technical and fundamentals. And there's all kinds of scans that it comes with and different things like that. And it's institutional quality stuff that, especially on the fundamental side, that I just find very helpful. So you go to chickenanalytics.com/Carter, and for say today is Wednesday, so it's till the end of the day on Friday. You actually get $300 off their annual subscription. So their annual subscription is $1,950. Through this, you can get it for $1,650. And again, it's one of those where, I've looked at it. It's a great tool. And I always think of it as like, okay, if with this tool, if I can make one or two trades to pay for the tool, then essentially all the other profitable trades from that it's kind of like gravy on top of it if you think of it as ROI, return on investment. And this is just really good stuff. He's been working on this stuff for 50 years. The subscriptions for institutions actually cost $10,000 a year. So the retail version of it is it's the same thing, but because we're considered retail, we can actually get the institutional stuff for a much deeper discount. So that's great. Anyway, that's what we got. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update.